Just found the perfect spot here. Out there, I got the trailer outside. It's gonna rain probably again, but I don't think the wind is gonna blow as much as it was. We had like really hard winds for about half an hour when the storm hit. And now it's forecast 10, 12 miles an hour, shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, so from in here, I can see the trailer and the bike is out of sight, but just in that shelter there. This is a really nice center. Lots of cool displays and stuff, whatnot. And over here in the corner, a plug-in. There's actually a few plug-ins in here, so I don't feel like I'm taking the last one or anything. So with the rain and the clouds today, I really didn't get any charge at all, and I'd like to be able to hit the road in the morning. So I'll get this thing fully charged. It's about 6:30 or 7, I think now. So I figured I'd charge it earlier instead of later, and I can just sit in here and screw around with the internet for a while. Alright, hey, my name is Carlin. Thanks for watching my video. I always forget to say all these things at the end of the video, and I think most people don't watch to the end, so let me just knock this out really quick in the beginning and we'll get on with the show. Cool? Right. I'm working on lighting here too. So, apparently there's about 22 military veterans committing suicide every day. What I'm doing this ride for is to try to bring awareness to the problem and to reach out to people who know veterans or to reach out to veterans directly and first just help them to realize that this isn't the best option, that there's better ways to do this, and that they still matter and we care about them. All right. I know when I got out of the military, it was kind of a rocky start for me. I was so used to how things were. You get out, everything is upside down and it's very chaotic and not a smooth transition sometimes. So I had a lot of empathy for what's going on. If you wanted to help me personally on my ride, my main source of income is through these videos. So you can, if you watch the videos to the end, that helps me because YouTube will recommend the videos if people seem to watch them. If you like the video, go ahead and click the like. If you wanted to help me through donations, below the video there's like the thumbs up button, and near that is a heart. You can click on the heart and choose how much you want to donate. It can be a small or a large donation. That's a one-time only. Also, if you would, please subscribe to the videos so that you see the new ones coming out. I don't get paid directly for subscribers, but it does show that I have engagement with the people. Again, sorry about the backlighting. Finally, if you want to help me through things like PayPal, look in the video description below the video, or I'll put it up on screen here. There's a link, and I've got a website. You can go check that out. It's got links to everything. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and on with the show. Yeah, it's bright. It's 6:45 in the morning on Wednesday, the 3rd of August. August already. If I stay in the shelter, I'm out of the wind, so that helps a little bit. I ended up getting hit by the sprinklers again last night anyway. I was like, I got to get out of this state. I really started to get tired of sleeping in rest areas too. I have to think of a better plan, I guess. Anyway, from what I saw on the map, I think there really only is 2 rest areas that I saw going through Colorado in the direction I'm going. But I'll also be going through cities, so, be other options then, I guess. Or, like I usually try to do, stay out of cities, one or the other. So, anywho, another bright, shiny day. Yeah, a whole lot better looking than yesterday, though. There is some clouds, but not nearly as many and not nearly as windy. Well, yeah, it is kind of windy. So I'm gonna do some quick breakfast. Got some of my foods out. Got the bed packed up already. I'm gonna hook up the new trailer to the back of the old trailer the same way I got out here and take it back to Walmart, and hopefully I can get a refund. Sometimes they don't want to give you something if you don't have the box anymore, so we'll see how that turns out. If that doesn't go, I don't know. It's a lot of redundant parts. I don't need it.
I guess I'll figure it out when I get there. I want to try to get a refund back anyway. It's like it's not better than what I already have. So, yeah. Anyway, let's leave it at that, I guess. I always feel better after I have some breakfast, so I get the road. I got the bike fully charged last night for the plug-ins, so that'll be good. Yeah. Fort Collins, Colorado is the next town. That's also got a Walmart, I saw. So, friend David, one of my neighbors out at the ranch, said he saw a bicycle trailer where the guy had actually used wheelchair wheels, which got me thinking, because wheelchairs also don't have a continuous axle all the way through from one wheel to the other, so it must have a similar way of connecting to the trailer or to the wheelchair. So that might be an option for later. I don't know. I could find a place that sells wheelchair parts, maybe. That might be an option. I don't know. I'm kind of I mean, this would be something that would be super easy when I'm at home, where I have the internet on a computer instead of on my phone, and I could have it shipped to me, you know. And I'm like, for all of the spare parts I've got at home, I almost don't need it, you know. So I'm going back and forth, but I've got a lifetime supply of bearings already. I picked up some more spare tires for the trailer, so I think I might just go with it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking I can get home in about 2 weeks, so that's a long ways if you got to walk carrying something, but it's not too far for a bike. Yeah. I could also take a look at what I've got and mail myself another package or two home just to get rid of some of the other stuff that I might not need, kind of thing. I mean, I could lighten the load a little bit. Unfortunately, the thing that always comes back to is the heaviest things I have are a gallon of water, which I need, my tools, which I pretty much need. I've already sent home half the tools that I thought I could live without, so I really don't want to go any further that direction. Clothes, I could get rid of a bunch, you know, just to leave myself, you know, underwear and socks and a couple t-shirts kind of thing. But then last night I dug out my jacket that I haven't worn for 2 weeks. So, you know, some of that you kind of still need. And when I get home, then I'll be looking at my idea from before, in case somebody didn't see the other video. Most of the people that I met on the road that were bicycle touring did not have a trailer, so they put everything on the bike. And I've gone the opposite direction, and now I'm starting to see that, well, the trailer is the weak point. I was trying to protect the bicycle. So if I could move a lot of the stuff to the bike, like for instance, okay, where I've got the batteries on above the rear tire, you get a full rack system that goes there. So I could put the sleeping bag behind the seat. I could put the tools on one side over the rear tire, or both sides if I split it up a little bit, that kind of thing. So that would take a lot of the load off of the trailer, because I still need the trailer for the solar panels, but I don't need the trailer for everything else. So that's kind of the direction I'm going. That's why I don't want to invest in another trailer if I can help it. I was hoping getting this trailer would solve some of my problems, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So, yeah. Anywho, one step backwards and one step forwards, kind of. So, anyway, get some bananas and some bagels, and I'll drink some fluids and get my body back to functional again, and everything going to be okay. My stuff didn't get too wet when the sprinklers came on. Can't win. It's like they came on. I watched them. Okay, I was talking to some of my neighbors here at the rest stop, and okay, the sprinklers are off. Now we can go settle down, and then they came back on again. I was like, it's just not fair. It's like they could obviously, well, they're not here to work around my conveniences, so yeah. Anyway, just another day on the road. A list of problems to solve, and if you solve enough of them, you get to go home.
Alright, so we are about a mile or two from Colorado. I am on an alternate road, 85 maybe? I don't know. I just followed the line. I had good sun this morning, but I was messing around in town, as is the case. Walmart did give me a full refund on the little trailer, which was nice considering I didn't have the packaging for it, so that was good. So I happened to see there was a Harbor Freight right next to the Walmart, or on the same block, so I took the trailer back for $165 or something like that, and I picked up these little wheels. They're 40 bucks a piece, which is about the same price as the ones I had from Tractor Supply. These are plastic centers, but they have bearings. They're no worse than the ones from Tractor Supply. They feel pretty hard, but I think they might be the same kind of hard foam rubber. So my thinking on this was I didn't have any kind of a spare at all if this wheel fails. So this would be better than nothing. Also, these would be handy up on the ranch because they won't go flat. I can use them for like you know, a cart or a wagon or something like that for just around on the property. They'd be really good for that. So it seemed like it was worth buying them. And yeah, they are hard plastic center wheels, but they got the bearings, and these are a lot stronger than the ones that were on the trailer I just took back. I mean, they at least have a solid center instead of 5 spokes. And they don't look near as flimsy, so they seem stronger. Yeah, they're a little bit heavy, but it turned out, at the moment at least, I needed weight on the front of the trailer to get it to balance right. So maybe because my gallon of water isn't full anymore, but it was sitting there nose high pretty bad, so put some ballast up front. Later on, I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff that's back here and move the weight forward. One of the things I'm looking at is the Army cot. If I ran it lengthwise the same as the tire pump on the opposite side, I think that might be better, and that would get the weight off the back a little bit more. So yeah, I've been running this basic trailer since California, but I'm still tweaking the design and how I load things, so keep making it a little better in the meantime. Last check. Yep, blinky. Blinky is blinking. And yeah, some of these wheels I don't need anymore, but it's a spare wheel for the bike, or a spare wheel for the other bike, or yeah, these white tires sure don't last very long. I did buy 2 more of those though. So I think my plan is I'm going to run the whites as long as physically possible and just keep throwing bearings in there, and then when I have to, I'll switch over to the other ones if I have to. And in the meantime, I'll just plan on picking up stuff as I need it along the road. Yeah. I am not taking 25 today, but I'm going to keep an eye on how close I am to freeways, because that's where the major cities are. So if I need to hit another Tractor Supply or a Harbor Freight or something, I'll keep that as an option. So I'm thinking, I don't think there's going to be anywhere where I'm more than 100 miles from a major hardware store all the way home. So if I need to, I can, drop the trailer, ride the bike, get parts, that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, since I had a full charge from last night and the morning was pretty sunny while I was parked, I still got 51.5 volts, so that's pretty good. So at the moment, the sun is right on the edge of the cloud bank, and I think the clouds are coming in, so it's going to get worse. Well, we're out of Wyoming. Woohoo! Doesn't look a lot different. Also over yonder, just beyond the hill, I didn't want to stop. It was a low point. At the Den, a gentleman's club. Place looks pretty deserted. Moving on. That way. Alright, it's about 4:30. I'm about 15 miles out of town, and I can't remember the name of the town, so we'll get back to that in a minute. that solar goes back, I think, to the trees. That direction is south. So right now they're all facing west. Normally you'd face them to the south, so like rotate them 90 degrees, right? But it looks like they might be set up to track. In that case, they could be tilting back and forth, and that would work pretty good also. So that's a pretty big setup there. That's huge. Cool. Anyway, 400. Oh yeah. Looks like it might rain, but the forecast said just small, tiny amounts. So yeah, get your scuba gear ready. Okay, this is near Fort Collins, a Colorado Department of Transportation rest area. It's interesting, this is the first time I've seen like this. The row of parking facing the building is 30 minutes only. This row, 2 hours only, tow away zone. But over yonder, they've got 12-hour parking, no camping. Okay, the question would be is how much do they enforce that? But all the trucks are over there, and the camper buses and stuff like that. So limited 12-hour parking, maximum no drop trailers, which would be more like semis, don't drop your trailer, and no camping. Oh, there's a bit of grass there. And of note, oh, hello little guy. Just about stepped on a little frog, little tiny guy. Okay, not harass him. As is usually the case in my world, carve out as much as you need from the middle or the edge or wherever you can. Yeah. So I would say if I'm in the grass, I'm not going to get ran over by the trucks. And I could probably get into a more legitimate parking spot too. There's some street lights, but not too many. Not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to sit over here for 2 hours and take a chill. Okay, Cheyenne is up here. I came down 85, the little town of Nunn, and I kind of cut across and worked my way down, I think is how I did it. It's kind of a blur. This is Fort Collins here, and we are probably in about here, pretty close to 87 and 25. Denver's here, and oh yeah, I got confused because I saw El Paso there. I'm like, that's not right. Colorado Springs, and I think this is Pikes Peak in here somewhere. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I'm not seeing it right now. Anyway, possibility I might do something crazy up there, but maybe not. Anyway, yeah, this was a good road here. Coming down this, it was not nearly as busy. It wasn't like an interstate. I had a really good shoulder on that, so that was nice. So see if I can find other ways to do something like that. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, we'll go down to 25, yeah, 25. Last time I got to Albuquerque and went across, and then this was Four Corners. That's where I was aiming for, way over there. So I've never been in Colorado on this trip. I just went to there. So now we can see the rest of it. Okay, I'm not sure how much noise we're going to get from that. The diesels, trucks are over there all idling and doing stuff. They're dieseling. They're doing diesel stuff. Let's see if I can make that. Hey, that's better. Okay. So 57 miles today, which I don't remember what time I rolled out of the rest area, but I ended up going back 11 miles into Cheyenne to hit the Walmart. I can't remember if I got that on video or not. I did return the little trailer I'd bought the day before. The lady said they're not supposed to take it back without all the packaging, but then she took it anyway. So there's like I think you just read the script to try to scare people and then and then do it. Anyway, so yeah, it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't up to what I needed. So I was like, well, sorry, either you do or you don't, right? So I backtracked 11 miles to there, and then I came down kind of the back, not on the freeway, so Highway 87 I think is what I came down on. Doesn't really matter. And then I cut across, so it was a little bit further. So when I looked up my miles using the software, I think it went a more direct route, so I probably went actually further than 57. So I've been averaging 50 or better most days, but I've had a few short days where you end up, like in yesterday, I camped on one side of Cheyenne, and then I rode into Cheyenne, did a little bit, and then got barely out of Cheyenne again. So I don't even know what the miles were on that day. I didn't look it up. So let's see. After Walmart, I saw there was a Harbor Freight, like in the same block. So I walked over there, and Harbor Freight had some, hang on, we'll get a shot of that, just in case. Okay, freshly installed tire, went flat about 10 miles from here. It did have a piece of wire stuck in it, so I didn't feel too bad about that. So that's normal tires I've been running, and these are almost exactly the same height. There we go. So there's two of them there, so they're about this big. That's not really showing up very well, but there we go. These are run flats on plastic wheels. Okay, if you're curious, there probably is no advantage between these wheels that I just bought and the ones I took back to Tractor Supply. Yeah. Okay, also there's a glaring technical problem that I completely spaced. I kind of looked at it, but I thought they were right. So the wheels on the trailer are set up for a 1/2-inch axle, so that you can put a 1/2-inch bolt through them, and that works. These wheels I just brought from Harbor Freight are probably 5/8, most likely 5/8. A lot of the other wheels I've used from there are 5/8. So the bolt will just bounce all over in there, so that's no good. So yeah, little problem there. Yeah. The best solution that comes to mind, find a bearing and bushing store, and it should be a trivial thing to get a bushing that will go into, basically it'll take me from 5/8 down to 1/2-inch. All right, and if I can get a package of steel bushings, we'll be set. I'm gonna guesstimate it'll be less than $5. Okay, for like 4 of them or something like that. I don't know, that should be a commodity. They should be able to it's like picking up a handful of nuts or something like that. That's in my head. Now we'll see what happens in real life. Okay. Also, the sun is just peeking out, so yay for that. Oh, I'm gonna get any sun. I should probably tilt the trailer, so I'll come back. Okay, we're getting free power for as long as we can. I did see one plug-in over there that was exposed, unsecured. Maybe we'll get some power out of it. I just had a funny thought. If this was Canada, when I lived in Edmonton, a lot of the parking lots had, like at every light pole, there was plug-ins, because you'd plug your car in to run the block heater to keep things from freezing while you're shopping and stuff like that. Yeah, so you'd have like every car parked next to the light poles, and you just have all these wires running everywhere. And a lot of people would just keep their extension cord wrapped around the radio antenna all winter long. You just like, okay, when you get to work, you'd plug your car in, and that way it wouldn't be 40 below in the car, and the engine wouldn't freeze solid, and kind of a funny thing. So when I was, I was kind of disappointed. The apartment I lived in, I saw that there was a plug-in on every parking spot. I'm like, man, this is the greatest thing ever, because then I could be out there working with tools on my motorcycle or something like that, drilling holes or whatever. And turned out in the summertime they turned off the extensions, you know, so it's like you had no power except for in the winter. I'm like, well, you didn't want to be out there in the winter anyway, so that was kind of a disappointment. But anyway, that would have been perfect for electric bikes. Okay, anyway, yeah, so the wheels, yeah, I was coming across like literally less than 10 miles from here, and I got a flat. I'm like, well, okay, take it all apart. And that tire, I put slime in, and that slime was everywhere inside the tire. So it was trying, it was definitely trying. But what happened is there was this little sliver of a wire that had gone all the way through the tire and got stuck in the liner that I put in. I had some hard liners I put in those tires. That seems to have cut down on the flats considerably. So, you know, it's how do you say that in science? It's kind of hard to prove that what you did solved the problem, because maybe there just didn't happen to be any more wires on the road that day or something. But I went from having 5 flats in one day to going several days with no flats. So once I got out of Montana, I got way less flats. You know, but I've also tried harder to get off of the interstate. So yeah, less interstates, less flats. That does seem to be a trend. So anyway, but where I got the flat was way out in the boonies. So, and it did seem like it went down pretty fast. So I didn't remember seeing any wires on the road, but you know, whatever. Anyway, so what I'm thinking, current plan, I need to get those bushings so I can use the Harbor Freight wheels if I need to. I suspect they're going to be awful. The same reason I took the Tractor Supply tire back. It's probably going to be about the same situation. So it's not going to be an easy pedaling tire, okay? But my thought was, when I bought them, they are the right vertical size, so it won't throw things off. And I think they would be a really handy tire for out on the ranch. So if I can keep my bicycle tires on the trailer working, and then like if I just need to randomly throw one of those on temporarily until I get into camp and then fix it and then switch it back again, that might be enough. And if I only got to go, I think it's less than 800 miles now or something like that. So I'm about 100 miles north of Denver, I think, maybe less now. Yeah, so I expect to be through Colorado in about a week, and I think another week in New Mexico is kind of what I'm thinking as a starting point. And then we come out of New Mexico, and it's like we're right into El Paso, and then it's about 110 miles from El Paso, so I'll probably split that into 2 days, and then I'll be home. Yeah. Which is exciting and scary, and I don't know, it's almost depressing, honestly. I'm not really excited about going home. I'm more excited about being able to start fixing stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I did have an idea that I hadn't really seriously considered before. I don't think I can do it for this part of the trip, but I met a lot of people that were bike touring that did not have a trailer. And I've always kind of thought, well, I wanted the trailer at least for the solar panels. But then I got to thinking about it, and there was Octay was the guy that was videotaping for our documentary video that we made, or that they made. We hired a documentary team to do our video for us, and he was on just a pretty slick looking road racing bike. Not a mountain bike, definitely a road bike. Anyway, and he had clip-on pedals and really super skinny tires, but he did put one solar panel on, and so it's just a single panel right off the back of the bike, right? And I hadn't really thought about that seriously, but it kind of clicked. Okay, there was that, and then there was also the bike that we had for Florian. Florian was the organizer of the event, who came over from France. He was on a cargo bike. And we had, I say we because I actually kind of helped on this a little bit. They had 2 50-watt panels on the back of the bike, on the kind of cargo area, and then it also had kind of a cargo basket on the front of it. And a fly tried to go up my nose. So there's a 50-watt panel on the front and 250s on the back, and I think that was just a matter of that's what they had available. You know, with 250s, they could have easily put a single 100 on the back. Okay, so Octay had 100 on his, and it's just sticking right out the back. And the more I think about it, if I can get my weight down, so I'm not carrying 150 pounds of crap behind me, and if I could move the panels onto the bike using like cargo pannier racks, that I'm going to need some kind of racks to haul the stuff I do need anyway. So what if I could have the solar panel attached right to the back of the bike and have just 100 watts? Because I did 100 watts on the first one-wheel trailer because I only had one panel, and that's how I got, how far was I? I was almost to Death Valley when I found the second panel, and so I did wire it eventually, but I got, man, probably the first at least 500 or 600 miles on 100 watts, and that was pulling the trailer and on the Harbor Freight batteries. So what I'm just kind of getting my head around as an option, what if I did make the jump, not take the trailer at all, downscale like I'm supposed to, shift more to a lightweight kind of a setup, right? So that's a possibility, because like today I was running, well shoot, I had from Cheyenne to here I dropped about 1,000 feet or 1,500 feet or something like that. I think it was 6,000 there, and it's about 4,500 here, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I was cruising along and I kept thinking, am I going downhill? It felt like I was going downhill, but it wasn't very steep. I couldn't really notice it. The hill was really gradual if it was in fact downhill, but I was losing altitude according to the GPS. So I was cruising along. I had a lot of today that I didn't even use the power. I was just pedaling, and I was going at a nice speed. Then I blip the throttle a little bit to get up a hill, and then I kick it off again, and I was like, this is great, So, and then a lot of, then the rest of it, I was cruising along. Okay, I got to the point I was running about 100 or 110 watts of motor power, and I was matching it with solar power, and so I was just, the battery just stayed the same then. So I'm like, okay, this is all right. Just making sure the guy in the truck doesn't run over my bike. I guess we're okay. Yep, looks like he sees it. Can't imagine I do very well on an insurance deal on that. Yeah, you just ran over my bike and I'm 1,000 miles from home. Here's a bus ticket, shut up. Anyhow. 500 parking spots. I had to pick one that had actually good sun so I can charge the bike, and then they're going to try to run over to get into it. And they're going to think I'm a jerk for parking crooked. I'm still in the lines though. Anyway, I'm torn between, I want to find a place with no people that has restrooms. That would be alright. Anyway, the more I think about it, if I could get to the point that I had no trailer, that would be the best trailer ever. I'm going to borrow a line from Elon Musk. I love the way he looks at something. He's like, before you optimize it, make sure you even need it. I'm like, oh, that's clever. He's like, don't optimize something that doesn't even need to be there. It's like, yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. So, yeah, that would be it. The other thing he said is, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the SpaceX guy and Tesla and a few other companies. Pretty smart dude that's doing rockets and stuff. Anyway, so he was looking at, okay, in rockets and in Tesla in the cars, he's like, okay, keep trying to remove parts and see if you even need them. He's like, yeah, maybe this part doesn't even really need to be there. So, and then once in a while, if you do need it, put it back on.
that just makes it, then if that actually proved you needed it. If you never put it back on, then you could, go without it. And I'm not on his level, but I had a car when I lived on Guam that was like that. It had a bunch of emission stuff from the 70s. And it was just like, I looked at it, does this part need to be here? Because it was broken. So I take it off, start the car up, it still ran. Okay, throw that part away, we don't need it. Okay, now the car doesn't start, put that part back on, And I got rid of, I swear, 3/4 of the plumbing under the hood. It had like, all the emission stuff that they didn't really know what they were doing in the 70s. So they just put a bunch of it down there. And yeah, I was like, man, we don't need most of that stuff. And I'm on Guam, and they didn't have emissions there anyway, so not a big deal. Keep it simple. So, flies. Anyway, I'm just jabbering, but yeah, the more I think about it, if I could do that and get to the point, because the bike itself doesn't need very much power to go, it's just pulling the trailer. So if I only had 100 watts, but I didn't need that much, because the bigger the panel, the more weight and the more wind resistance. So, and yeah, Octay, he was on a super light bike, and he looked like he was a pretty hardcore rider anyway, but one solar panel hanging off the back of the bike, that sure looked slick. It didn't have all the crap in the way. Now, granted, he also had a van to because they were the camera crew, and so he had a support vehicle, and I don't think they even camped. I think they went down into town and hit hotels most of the time. So it wasn't like he had a bunch of cargo bags hanging everywhere, but yeah, so stuff to think about. If I can radically change my setup for the next month or two, I want to get home, go back out, because man, that's what I keep thinking about on a day like today. I didn't ride that many hours, and I still did 57 miles. Because I had, and I hit the IHOP again because it was right there. So I hit Walmart, Harbor Freight, IHOP, and then rode here, and then changed the tire. And I'm here before. Well, I think it was 5 o'clock when I got here, but I would have been here faster if I hadn't had to change that tire. And that's another thing is the bike tires are very thorn resistant. They very seldom get flats. And I can miss, that's the thing, is if I see something, I can miss it with the bike, but the trailer ends up usually hitting it, so I got more flats on the trailer than I do on the bike. So yeah, if I could just eliminate the trailer entirely, that would be pretty slick. That would, why build the trailer if you don't actually need it to be there? That would be it. Anywho. I think that's going to be it for today. I'm going to do some editing and get this thing uploaded, and go find a place that I can not camp and away from the sprinklers. At least the grass looks dead enough here. They probably don't have sprinklers. That's got to be worth something. Yeah. Alright, as always, thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support, and welcome to all the new subscribers and to all the cool people I keep meeting in rest areas. It's kind of fun how you just randomly, I think this is kind of like what I've said before about when you're out traveling, you instantly have at least something in common with other people. You're actually not sitting on the couch. You're doing something, you're going somewhere. Even if you're living in your car, at least you're out in the fresh air, and you're not just sitting there, twiddling your thumbs or something like that. So it's gonna be weird going back home soon, and then we'll figure it out. Anywho, that is it for now. Bye.